Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Wisdom Well Wednesday. Today is our 8th episode of our Chakra Series. It is Understanding the Crown Chakra, the Gateway to Enlightenment. Now, today we are doing the Crown Chakra, which is number 7 of our 7 major chakras, but it is by no means the last of our Chakra Series. As of today, we've covered the very basics. You can stop your education in chakras after today's lesson if you wish. If you want to go even further, we will continue this chakra series going on many more episodes if you are interested in doing that. If you haven't watched any of the chakra ones already, or you need a little review, have a little look at all of the other episodes. We started off with episode 1 with an introduction to the 7 major chakras, and then episode 2 through to 7 were the root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, brow, and then today we have our crown. They're every 4 weeks, so from February the 12th to the 30th of July. All right, so go back and have a little look at those.
Imagine your mind as a vast universe and the crown chakra as the star that illuminates your path to enlightenment. Join me as we dive into the mysteries of this vital energy center and discover how it can elevate your spiritual journey.
Okay, so I am wearing white today in honor of our crown chakra. Let us begin. Okay, so the crown chakra. As I said, I am wearing white. It can also be purple. I personally use purple more for the brow chakra. Go back to July the 30th and take a look at that one. But you can use purple absolutely for your crown. Crown is the very top of your head. So if you remember going all the way back to March, we started with the root chakra, which is right at the very base of your spine. And so we're literally just following the spine up until we get to the head, and then it's our brow. And the very, very, very top of our head right there is our crown. This is number 7. And we are just covering at the moment the 7 major ones. And like I said before, you can just stop your education after today, or if you are really interested, you can carry on with our chakra series afterwards. So the crown is very much about enlightenment. It is where we connect to the heavens or the universe. It is, if you are a believer in any kind of God or a higher universal power, then this is how we connect to them. When we meditate, when we do visualization, when we feel spiritual, if we're in a religious building or we're outside and we suddenly get this enlightenment feeling, it's coming in through our head. This is why a lot of cultures will cover the top of their head as well to protect this, because this is our bridge to the other world. So where our brow is our link and our gateway into the other realms and through the veil and our intuition, this actually connects us fully. So when we pray, when we meditate, when we astral project, we are connecting through our crown, and we're bringing in the universal energy, any healing energy and everything, it's coming through. So if we do Reiki or any other healing, it will come through our crown chakra and into our hands, and we can then do our healing. So it's very much about higher consciousness, enlightenment, self-awareness, the awareness of ourselves as part of a universal and part of the cosmos, right? We're very much this kind of thing, and we didn't really cover this in the other ones, but each chakra is represented by a lotus flower. and they each have different amounts of petals. This one here is like thousands, so thousands of petals at the top here. So it's a lot. It's our spiritual connection. Yeah, so anything greater than ourselves, even if we just think of it as our higher self connection, right? If you don't believe in anything external to you, it's your higher self. So what are some signs of a underactive or an unhealthy crown chakra? So pretty much it's on a physical thing, it's instability, like literal physical instability, and poor coordination, like that sort of hand-eye coordination is very, very off. Like it's our brain, right? It's our inability to connect our thoughts to our hands. We keep dropping things or whatever it is, or we have trouble moving forward with our feet because there's some kind of neurological link breakage or dissociation or something. So it's pretty much any kind of imbalance with your body, anywhere where your brain isn't really connecting to get your body to do what it needs to be doing. Emotional symptoms would be a feeling of being disconnected, so disconnected from others, disconnected from the external world, disconnected from your God. Just very much a struggle emotionally of a feeling of being alone, very much loneliness and insignificance, just a very, very isolated feeling. Mental symptoms would be anything where you're confused, you've lost any kind of mental clarity, there's a fog or a lack of focus in your mind. So again, it's all going back to your brain and your mind. So anything where your brain isn't functioning properly can be a sign of an unhealthy crown chakra. Spiritually, you might feel very disconnected, like I said, to a higher power, wherever that be a god or to the universal energy. You're feeling a lot of spiritual apathy. You're not really feeling interested in following your soul mission. You don't really feel there's any purpose to life. There's no growth for you. You don't feel like there's any real path forward. You're just meant to get up, go to work, come home, watch some TV, go to bed. Like you don't feel there's anything more important or higher for you. This can be a sign of an inactive or an unhealthy crown chakra for you. Overactive. So it's all well and good that it can be underactive, but you can also have overactive, as we've discussed with the other ones. So an overactive one, you just might feel very bombarded, very overwhelmed with spiritual experiences and practices. Maybe you feel that you want to explore all these different religions and you're not sure which one to pick, or should you even go with a religion? Should you just be spiritual and just take bits of things that you want, and it's just all too much. It's all like the spiritual overload for you, and then that can lead you to a lot of anxiety, a lot of confusion, a lot of that feelings of being lost, like when it's underactive, but you're lost because there's too much option, there's too many things that you want to explore with that. You may also, if you have an overactive one, you may also, which is strange, you might also have a problem with grounding. And so that's very much, we think of that with our root chakra, our first one, our red one that we did, because that is our grounding, that is our link to the earth. But if we have an overactive crown one, we're very floaty, we're very spacey, we are very, oh, I'm just floating around and, I'm not really anchored into earth. I'm just off in my spiritual practices. I'm meditating all the time and just ignoring all the mundane things. I'm ignoring, my responsibilities here on earth. I'm ignoring that I have a body. that need to be looked after. I'm ignoring my friends and family and my work, and none of it matters because I'm off in a spiritual enlightenment bubble, right? This is not a good thing. If we're human, we need to have the mundane as well as the spiritual. You might also experience a lot of obsession, maybe just any kind of obsession that comes up in your life. You're just uber focused on that. You just need to live and breathe that obsession. And again, everything else falls to the wayside. You don't trouble yourself with the mundane because you're just hyper focused on this obsession that you currently have. And then you may also have things like migraines and headaches and things like that, because of the overload of spiritual energy shooting in to your crown chakra, because it's not balanced, and it's just allowing in way too much universal energy. And then you may feel a sense of superiority. You may feel that you're a lot better than everybody else, and that very toxic spirituality where everyone else doesn't know what they're talking about, only you have the answer, and everyone else doesn't see it your way. They're not worth giving your time to. So you feel a superiority complex about everything spiritual. This can be your overactive. So what are some signs of a healthy crown chakra? Hopefully everyone has quite a healthy one. So you will feel very connected. You'll have a sense of connection with both your spiritual, so your guides, your gods, just with nature, with your higher self, with your intuition, even though that's more the brow, but you'll have more of a connection with that. But you also have more of a connection with your family, with your friends, with your pets. You just have a lot more of a sense of being part of a whole, part of the community, and part of a place in the grand scheme or the grand plan of the universe. You're going to have a lot of clarity and insights. You're going to be very, very sure of your purpose, but not in that egocentric way, not in that superiority way. You're going to just know your purpose, and you're going to pursue that. And this will bring you a lot of sense of peace of mind, peace of heart. Everything will just feel an inner peace, and an acceptance, good and bad, whatever's happening. You feel an absolute heartfelt acceptance of everything's happening for a reason, and not in a toxic way of saying that, but you actually truly believe that it's all part of your life plan and your soul mission or your soul progression. And you're going to have a spiritual awareness. You're going to feel very spiritually aligned in whatever your belief system is. And you're going to be able to see the biggest picture. You're going to be quite enlightened. This is when your crown chakra is healthy and active. Now, if your crown chakra needs a little activation, what would you do? Well, like I said, the colors are white and purple. So we do color therapy. So that could be wearing the colors, that could be surrounding yourself by those colors. So that color of cushion, or go outside and find the colors in nature, or if you're in a city, and on billboards or in shop windows on clothes, like try and immerse yourself in the colors, feel the colors. Foods as well, like eating the colors is very, very important. So of course, purple foods like plums and purple grapes, eggplants, purple cabbage, all of these kind of things would be a really good thing to ingest because they are purple. White foods as well, like coconut, whether you're drinking the coconut with like coconut water or coconut milk, with the bits in for the water, perhaps, so that you actually have the white. Garlic and onions, which is a staple in this household. Lots of garlic, lots of onions. Cauliflower. I mean, cauliflower, lots of people go, ugh, that's boring, but you can do lots with cauliflower. You don't just have to have it raw because it's white. You can put it in food. You can make it into popcorn. You can do all this other stuff with the cauliflower to get that white energy into through your eating. So all of these two colors can really help, and you can mix them if you want as well. So that would be really good. Also, fasting is obviously do it the way that your body is good for fasting, but different types of fasting would be good to help with your crown chakra. So even if you're not fasting as in giving up food, maybe just having like the coconut water during the day, and then the white foods, or very, very light diet could really help with opening up your crown chakra. But everyone's body is different, so always do what is best for your body. And anything that's detoxifying as well, anything that detoxifies your mind and body, are very, very good foods and drinks. So maybe a tea or something like herbal tea to detoxify would be a nice one. Of course, as usual, yoga poses, like lotus pose, obviously, is that very famous, like meditating one. And then there's other ones. Again, I am not a yoga instructor, so go and chat to your local friendly yoga instructor, and they will help you with the yoga positions for each of the chakras. Affirmations, things like I'm connected to universal wisdom, or simply just I'm connected to the universe, would be a huge activation for your crown chakra. And also, I trust my higher self, because remember we said like it opens up to higher self as well as like God and the universe. So especially if you don't believe in any of that fanciful stuff, then maybe you just, for your higher self, you say I am connected to my higher self, right? So I never want people to worry about, oh, well, I have to believe this, or I need to do it that way. Every single person is different in every single way. So experiment, but find the things that work for you, always. And just because it works for someone else doesn't mean it's going to work for you, and vice versa. You're never going to get someone with the same situation and the same cure for it, right? It's always going to be personal. And it could also be, just going off on a tangent, it could also be something that worked for you when you were 10 is not going to work for you when you're 20. And those two things that worked when you were 10 and 20 are not going to work for you when you're 30. Right? So as you grow, as you progress, as you change, your body and your mind and the things that worked for you before may not work for you again in the similar situations. Food for thought. Visualization and breath work, obviously, always very, very good for all the chakras. Usually you could just meditate with the color of the chakra. So if you, like me, think of white or like a clear energy for the crown, you could just meditate and just imagine the white. Personally, I don't like complete white for the crown. So you can put maybe tints of other colors in. You can put tints of purple in if you want. I would probably do a golden white light. But again, whatever you feel best. I find that a totally pure white doesn't activate as well as literally tinting it with anything else. But again, trial and error, go ahead and you do what feels good for you. Okay, I've just covered meditation in that. Crystals and aromatherapy. So crystals, obviously, any kind of purple or white or clear, really, to simplify it. Amethyst, always a good one. Lovely purple one. I would usually just use it for the brow, like the third eye chakra, but I have been known to use it for the crown too. My chakra stones is actually a clear quartz, and kind of get it so that you can see the image. There we go. So yeah, so you see it's like the 1,000-petal lotus right there, right? So this is on a clear quartz, or you could just use any other clear quartz or similar for that crown chakra. Selenite, always a good one. If you haven't already looked at my other crystal ones, go ahead and look at those. If you want crystals, but you don't know how to cleanse them, you don't have time to cleanse them, you don't know what you're doing, get your crystals, get some selenite. Any selenite, any shape, any whatever. Selenite will cleanse all of your crystals for you and never ask anything in return. So beautiful, beautiful tool to have. And it's good for you, especially if you're having a wand or something, you can go over your aura. So very, very good for the crown, cleansing out all of the energy that's bombarding and coming in. You can just clean it away a little bit, make sure it's, there's no gunk on you. Lepidolite, I don't have my lepidolite with me, but that one's a really nice lighter purple one that's sort of more of like a lighter violet color. Beautiful stone, really, really soothing for anxiety, especially, and worry and things, so that's a good one. Howlite, this is a lovely white one, kind of looks like marble, white one with like the gray that goes through like marble. That one would be a good one. Diamond, so if you have like diamond rings or earrings or anything, you could wear those. Of course, wearing jewelry and wearing the stones, wearing colors, earrings, necklaces, anklets, bracelets, everything that can really help activate these chakras also. Moonstone is another beautiful one to use. Ametrine's a lot like amethyst, but it also has the citrine in it as well, so that's a nice one to have. So many different ones. Also, you can be using essential oils. You can have them on a bracelet with a lava stone on it, which is a porous stone, and you just put a drop or two of the essential oil on your bracelet or on your necklace on that stone, and then you can breathe it in throughout the day, and that activates, especially because it's in your head, it goes straight to your brain, it activates that chakra. So things like lavender, obviously for the soothing. Frankincense is a great one, very, very meditative one. Again, that's why we use it in church. I've said this, I think, for the brow one as well. It's why people use it in church and religious buildings and stuff. It gets you into that very spiritual openness. It gives you that sense of enlightenment, kind of allows your body to accept that energy a bit better. Sandalwood, rose, cedarwood, bergamot, all of these ones would be fantastic ones to use. By all means, these crystals and these essential oils are not the only ones. Go out, take a little look in books online, see which ones that you prefer and which ones work for you, and absolutely use that for your crown chakra. Well, I think that's probably it for today. I hope you have enjoyed these 8 episodes so far. As I said before, if you're quite happy with just learning these 7, that's absolutely fine. Many people just stop at the 7. Just research them, play with them, do chakra balancing on other people, really get into these ones. And if you are interested in going further, or you already know all about the 7 chakras, but you don't know any others, please do join me in 4 weeks' time, where we're going to do Introduction to the 12 Chakra System. So we're going to take these 7 and we're going to add some more to it. So we're going to talk about just an introduction to that. And then the episodes after are going to be those extra ones. And then after that, we have quite a few more chakra stuff coming up. But yeah, the 12 chakra system's a nice one to add on, especially if you already have had quite a few years of working with the 7. Definitely tune in on the 24th of September for the introduction to the 12 chakra system. Next week on Wisdom Well Wednesdays, we have the intuitive path, techniques and tools for enhancing your intuition. So if you want to get in touch with your intuition, if you want some tools and techniques, you want a bit of guidance of how to activate this third eye chakra, please do tune in next week and we will definitely cover lots of fun things there for you.
From the Wisdom Well, keep shining, continue learning, and stay curious. Until next Wednesday.